So, okay, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And get you so I can see all of my lovely square group faces. Okay, so Peter, if you want to turn your camera on. Oh, and let me get Jesus where he needs to go. Jesus, I'm going to put you in with Mrs. Smoiloff here. Okay. Ethan, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see our book volunteer? Awesome. Okay. So we're on a new story, a new leveled reader. And if you guys will turn to your My Librarian tab. So here was our essential question. And let me get Jesus. Jesus, I'm putting you with Mrs. Vasquez here. So join room 2. And remember, we had our notes that we started from this morning. Well, you guys do whole group writing on the next page. And you're going to leave the back page blank. So we're starting over here. Okay, I'll show you that one more time. Oh, Jesus, you need to join room number 2. Do you see that, Jesus?
You move the notebook over.
Yeah. Jesus, do you see where it says join? You need to join Mrs. Vasquez group. Okay. So here was our essential question this morning in our vocab. We took our notes right here. Okay. So whole group reading. Our whole group writing. And then we're leaving the back and we're starting on this page right here. And I got to get Kevin in his breakout room. Kevin, you're going to be working with Mrs. Vasquez. Okay.
Sorry, I'm late.
That's okay, Kevin. Okay, so Kevin, you're in room 2. Gabe, you are in room 2 with Mrs. Vasquez. Okay. So your guys' book, make sure I grab the right one, was volunteer. So for square group, and we're going to write volunteer.
How many pages do we skip for the camel one?
You want to do whole group writing, and on the back, leave that blank, and you're on the next one. Okay. So let's go ahead and write our essential question. So what is the author's purpose? Of volunteer. And how does the text structure? Gabe, you need to be in with Mrs. Vasquez. Help me. Gabe, you need to join the group with Mrs. Vasquez that I put you in. You need to join room 2. Okay. Then remember, we did our notes. We did the cause, the effect, and connection. While you guys are getting that, I'm going to run and sharpen my pencil really fast. Okay. So then I want to make sure. So the cause is the so the cause is the what happened. And the effect is the why it happened. Oh, Mrs. Miller had got these backwards. Sorry. It's a Monday. The why and the what.
Ms. Miller,
Mm-hmm.
I thought an easier way to write connection is make an M, but on the second bump, add a straight line up and make it into an N.
Oh. I think Mrs. Miller needs to go fix. I think I did that wrong on. No, I did that right there. Well, you guys are doing that really fast. I'm going to add this to my circle group. I forgot to write that earlier. Okay. Give me a thumbs up when you have our chart down so I know about my pacing. Great job, guys. A few more minutes. So in My Librarian is a Camel, we look how people, thank you, Samantha, how people sort of help each other. In fact, how kids get their books if they live somewhere. And we have some people helping to get those books. So you guys have a similar thing in volunteer. We're going to read what we can do to help each other. What are some ways that you guys maybe volunteer? Just sort of curious. Ways that we volunteer.
The school sells books at the end of the year.
Oh, yeah. Or give them away, right? We don't really sell them, the book giveaways. Good. Miles, what about you?
Wait, the school?
Or something in your own life.
Oh, I help my dad on the farm.
Yeah, volunteering our time to help on the farm. Ethan, what about you, bud?
This isn't really about me, but people could volunteer to be like police officers or volunteer firefighter, just like volunteer when they need it.
Perfect. Yeah, we definitely needed a while with the wildfires, right? People to help with those. Do you guys remember last Christmas where we did our canned food drive at school, where you guys brought in food and we set it outside the classroom? Definitely. Lots of ways to volunteer. Okay. So for this, in our book, it defines what is a volunteer, who can volunteer, what can I do, how do we start, some different ways that we can make volunteering successful, and who benefits the most when we volunteer. So I need a volunteer to actually read the first paragraph, and then you can popcorn it to someone. Ben, do you want to start? Okay. Do I have it big enough for you, Ben? There you go. And then when you're ready, you can popcorn it to someone.
Do you ever hear about problems in the world and think, this is hopeless? It's easy to feel that way because many of the issues the world faces, such as hunger,
Homelessness,
homelessness, and population are pretty huge. How can one person,
especially
a kid, make a difference? Here's a one-word answer. Volunteer.
Okay, you want to popcorn it to someone?
Ethan?
Volunteer means giving some of your time to help others. When you volunteer, you can make a difference. Look at it this way. A problem is like a big dark cave. When you volunteer, you shine a light in that cave. When others do it too, the cave is no longer dark.
Okay, and down here it says they're starting a food drive is one way to help others. So this one is sort of like an introduction. So on our notes, we know that there is a need, right? And the need is to help others in various ways. Well, because of that, what happens? We need people to volunteer, right? So that's sort of the big idea behind this. We need to help others out. Well, the effect, we need to volunteer in order to shine that light in that cave to make it better for others. Okay. Ethan, do you want to popcorn it to the next person? Who you want to read, Ethan?
Miles.
Okay, ready, Miles? If you wouldn't mind reading the top paragraph there.
Many people think volunteering means doing big projects such as cleaning up a town after a hurricane or building homes for the poor, because those are the activities that get media action, attention. However, volunteering can happen on a much smaller scale too. In fact, you've probably already volunteered without even thinking about it. Maybe you taught your younger brother or sister to ride a bike, or helped your mom or dad around your home, or offered to show a new kid around that school. Yes, that's volunteering.
Okay, Miles, do you want to popcorn it to someone else who has not had a chance to read?
Rowan.
Rowan, are you there? And Anafisa, I'm going to put you back with Mrs. Vasquez.
Oh, sorry, I unplugged my mic. I forgot about that. Who volunteers? In recent years, more than 25% of the Americans have served as volunteers, and they volunteered for a total of 8.1 billion hours. Yes, that's everyone combined. No single person. No. How generous can a volunteer for 8.1 billion hours? That's a lot of light shining in the darkness. Volunteers range from young kids and their families to grandparents and even great-grandparents. There are no age limits of volunteering because everyone can do something to help.
Okay, do you guys agree with that? That anybody can volunteer? Right? We've probably seen that. It could be young kids, it could be old kids, and even great grandparents can be volunteers. Okay, so now we're going to get into a little bit about how we can volunteer. Okay, Rowan, would you choose the popcorn for someone?
Peter.
You're muted.
What do these volunteers do? Many volunteers help mentor children. That means acting as a
Counselor.
teacher and friend to kids who might otherwise feel scared,
Number isolated.
or miss out on opportunities other kids take for granted. Other volunteers help with fundraising. That means raising money for organizations that need it, including schools, libraries, places that work to help the poor and needy, animal shelters, environmental groups, and many more. Many, many more. Lots of volunteers also collect, prepare, and food services to the hungry people or do their kinds of work to help those in need. There are countless other ways to volunteer too.
Perfect. Thank you, Peter. What is one way that someone can volunteer? It talked about 3. What was one of those ways? Lily, what was one of those ways that we can volunteer?
What was the question?
What are one of the ways that we can volunteer that it talked about on this page?
Helping animal shelters.
Okay, so if we look here, when we're helping the animal shelters, that goes along with raising monies that need it, right? So the big thing they're doing is fundraising. So we can fundraise, and the effect is we can raise money for animal shelters. Okay, so that was one of the ways. I'm going to put the book back for a second. So besides fundraising, what's another way we can volunteer? What did it say? Ethan, what's another way?
You could help the poor and the needed.
Okay.
Needy.
So right down here, we can help the poor and the needy, or were you talking about the one up here?
The one down below.
Down there? Okay. So here we can collect or prepare or serve food. And that helps those in need. Okay, that was this one. There's one more. It's near the top. You can find the one near the top. Ben, can you find it?
Counselor teachers.
Yeah. So we can act as a counselor, a teacher, or a friend, someone who feels isolated. Okay, so that's our notes. And I would like for you to figure out and make a connection. Have you helped in fundraising, helped with collecting, preparing, or serving food, or act as a teacher or a friend to someone? Can you make a connection to one of those? What's something that you have done for those three categories? And does someone want to share their connection so I can write it in my journal? Ethan, thank you for being brave.
Helping bring cans in at school.
Oh. So helping bring cans in at school. Thank you, Ethan, for sharing yours. Okay, so I'm going to end the breakout rooms, and I will still share my screen. And let me first stop our video here.